What's up? Hello everybody. Today we are going to be reacting to 13, the movie musical. Now, if you don't know, I've been doing a lot of research on 13, the story. I reacted to 13, the Broadway musical, 13, the book, right here. I've been doing some research behind the scenes, and now I'm going to be reacting to 13, the movie musical. Now, I actually do think I've seen this in the past, but I don't really remember it. When I looked at the trailer and the poster and everything, I was like, oh, I think I've seen this actually, but I don't really remember it. So that probably doesn't bode well for this movie. But I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see how it differs from the musical and the book. Also, I'm not recording this at 6 o'clock in the morning for once. So I actually get to eat some normal food like popcorn. I did already eat some of it, but you can have some too. Since it's the afternoon, I was like, why not have a little snack while I'm watching? So kick back, relax, get your popcorn, and let's watch this movie. Let's go.
Yeah. Hold on. It's God. He wants his language back.
I'm sorry. I can't focus.
Wow.
What kind of killer party can I have in Indiana?
Expedition line right there.
We had a happy family until my dad met someone else.
Why do these look photoshopped?
Just about to turn 13.
This song is such a bop. I love it.
It is going to be great.
This is so awkward.
Scared me. You can't just run away.
Isn't that what you're doing?
No.
Solid opening. This movie is already giving me such Disney vibes, which I did say in the 13 Broadway musical how it was also giving me Disney vibes, but this, like, the visuals, the color, the set, like, it just feels very, like, aesthetically Disney. It's just very clean looking. Not a bad thing, just observation. And already, like, there's already some lyric changes, and I forgot to say in the beginning, but I'm very curious to see which scenes are gonna get cut, or which scenes are gonna stay in, or which lyrics, or just what's gonna get changed, because in the 13 Broadway musical, there were a lot of questionable things that, personally for me, I was like, why is that in there? There were certain lyrics that I was like, is that appropriate for tweens? Like, are you sure? And already in this first opening number, there was at least one lyric that I heard that got changed that I was like, oh, they took that out and replaced it with something much more age appropriate. Especially since this movie screams like Disney. I don't think they would put certain words or certain scenes in here that's going to contradict the look of this film. Also, it says PG. I don't know, I'm just very curious of how they're gonna do this. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out my reaction to 13, the Broadway musical. You'll understand where I'm coming from, what I'm talking about. Also, it's a very interesting choice to add adults into this movie. In the musical, there are no adults at all on stage. The adults are just not important. They're not the main focus of the musical. In the book, they're a lot more prevalent in the story, although they were still kind of in the background mostly, so I'm curious to see how that's going to play out now that I have the knowledge that I do. So many new things already. Sorry if my hat's in the way, I just realized it's kind of low on my eyes. I apologize. Dad's a calling. Never mind.
It's called a church. So.
It's called a church.
Hi, Miss Ruth.
Patrice.
Patrice is my favorite character in the Broadway musical, so this girl has a lot to live up to.
With you by my side.
Something I noticed already with just the two songs so far is it's not very, I mean, all the kids are singing fine, they're singing great, but it's not very musical theater singing. It seems to be a weird kind of mix, like pop and musical theater, kind of. Like, even with just Patrice singing in her solo song here, she sang it just fine. I have no problems with it. It's just, it's not to the level of the star that sang this song in the Broadway version. There's not as much depth. There's no vibrato. I didn't hear any. Most of the singing was very much in her head area, head voice. And so when she got to that one note at the end, that's supposed to be this fun, very powerful, note, I don't know what you call it. it didn't give me that chill that I got from the Broadway version. And that includes the opening number, because the opening number was fun. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. But for most of the kids that sang, it just felt like it was really like in your face. And they kind of added some poppiness to it. But this musical is from musical theater. Sure, it has some rock, it has some jazz, it has some pop in it, but it's mainly musical theater. This is a musical theater show. And so with how these kids are singing it, it's just not, it doesn't have that musical theater feel when they sing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm not a voice teacher. I'm not a musician. I don't have the terms to explain my viewpoint. So this is all I got. But I'm trying to explain myself. Mom's acting is kind of goofy. Like Disney goofy.
Hey, Brett got taller, huh?
Oh man, he is tall. What the heck, man?
Hi, everybody.
Gosh dang, he's tall. What the heck? I remember that time between,
I really missed you,
was it
Kendra.
7th and 8th grade or 6th to 7th
might have been.
grade? There was one summer when you came back to school and all of a sudden the boys were like super tall. They went from here to here.
Trying to keep myself busy.
Oh, this is a different song.
Instead of being with you,
He's got a smooth voice, man.
to have my first real kiss with you, where we start.
There is already so much more dancing in this movie than there was in the musical.
What's up, Brett Sampson? Good to meet you. Good to meet you.
Oh, he's actually nice. So, new song. I liked it. It was fun. But it proves my point that they're going for the more poppy side of singing, music. They're kind of leaving behind the musical theater style. I really don't like when movie musicals do that. I don't understand why people think that if we make this movie into a movie musical, then we have to make it poppy in order to gain an audience for people to come. It's like, no, you don't. Especially when you're adapting an actual musical from Broadway and turning it into a movie musical, you should make it musical theater. There's a reason why people went to go see this show. And one of them is the musical theater style, the feel, the vibe, like, and I understand this fear of like, well, this movie is for kids and kids like pop, so we need to make it pop. I understand that. But I think movies like Wicked are a very good example of doing musical theater in a movie musical and doing it right and still being super popular with the kids. Also, I really, really appreciate it that the kids actually dress like kids, because I am so tired of looking at social media and seeing all these like 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds looking like freaking 20 years old. Like, you're gonna turn 20 soon, don't worry. You will get to become an adult sooner or later. But like right now, just be a kid. Be a freaking kid. Now granted, that could be because they're going for the whole Disney look effect, so that could be that too. But in any case, I still appreciate the costume designers and makeup artists and the people that worked on this, on the look of this film, on the look of these kids' clothing and stuff. I appreciate them for just making them look like freaking kids.
Jewish thing where they make you talk backwards and everyone gets circumcised.
What?
He looks so concerned.
Do what's right, not easy.
That was easy.
That's rude.
Just us. Boom. Everyone's happy.
Oh, he's trying to make this work.
Whatever. I don't
Girl,
even
he's
care.
trying to make this work for y'all.
Patrice,
That was really nice of him.
What just happened?
middle school.
You not being reasonable? I'm sorry, Patrice. He's trying to make this work for you. He's saying, okay, I'll have everybody come to my bar mitzvah, and then you and I can have our own one-on-one time, do something together, you know, because I value you as a friend. And you say, no? You're mad about him hanging out with other people? Now, I understand. I was that kid, okay? I was that kid in middle school that I could get pretty, clingy with my friends. I could get pretty protective over them, and it was really because I didn't have a lot of friends. So when I did have friends, like, I became very controlling a little bit. I'm being way too nice with myself. I was very controlling, okay? So I do get that part, but the fact that he communicated with her and said like, hey, okay, if you don't like this, let's try this instead. For him to go out of the way and like try to make things work and saying that he wants to help everybody, fix everything, you know, whatever's going on, I'll help you, I'll fix it. You know, like he's going above and beyond actually to make this work, because in this movie, like he's very serious about his bar mitzvah, where as in the musical and the book, it was kind of different how he viewed his party, but she is just completely rejecting that and acting like he is the villain. Also, another thing already is that Brett and Kendra and Lucy are a lot nicer in this movie. A lot nicer. Kendra's always been super sweet, but she was still part of the popular group. Brett and Lucy are completely different characters. I don't recognize them. Lucy did have her little moments in that scene. I mean, she is still kind of being mean a little bit, but nothing compared to the musical or in the book. And Brett is just a whole different person. He's like another human being. Super friendly. And the whole group like helped Evan find the office, go through the school, have lunch with him at the table. Like, they're super sweet to him. So already the characters feel very different compared to the previous iterations of this story.
Someone loses a tongue. Are you sure you're ready? Wait, Lucy, what's that scent?
Bring him back the tongue conversation, huh?
Opportunity, OPP.
She's got a good voice. I really like the choreography in this song. This is fun. Besides the rap, I liked the rest of that song. That was fun. The choreography, her singing. Also, another really big change with the characters. Lucy is less worried about being together with Brett and more about how she wants to still be Lucy, Kendra's best friend. The names are getting muddled as well. That's very different from the musical and the book. In the musical and in the book, Lucy is way more concerned about being Brett's girlfriend than she is about being Kendra's best friend. And also there's been all these little pieces of dialogue since we've met these characters that shows us that Lucy is more upset and concerned about Kendra never giving the time to connect with Lucy during the summertime. Kendra was forced to go to summer school because of her parents, and Kendra wasn't allowed to have a phone. But Lucy found out that when Kendra did have her phone, she used that time to connect with Brett. And Lucy never knew about that until school started. And that understandably made her very sad. So Lucy's upset, and Kendra does try to apologize, but Kendra's a lot more, she's not as bubbly in this movie, but she's also still pretty oblivious to what's going on around her. And we get a lot more background with these characters, like with Kendra's parents, you know, she's like, my parents are controlling, they don't let me do anything that I want to do. I want to do something that's for me. I want to be my own person. And so with that background, we learn that Kendra is trying to develop a backbone, basically trying to I guess get control of her life and do something that she wants to do, which is kiss Brett. She wants to get together with Brett. And because she's so focused on that goal, she just kind of ignores everything around her, including Lucy, and that develops tension, conflict between the two characters. This was not there in the musical. Sure, Kendra had a crush on Brett and she really wanted to get together with him, but it didn't seem like that was like her big goal. And she never used that in expense of her friendship with Lucy. So wow, this movie just feels so different from the musical. It doesn't even feel like the same story.
Look, I even cooked. You cooked?
Last time.
She cooked.
I've been trying to reach him, but he won't answer my calls.
I wonder why.
Sorry about your parents breaking up. Mine did too.
This dude is so nice compared to the musical. Oh my gosh, night and day difference.
Man, I want to kiss her.
Okay, listen up. The solution to your problem is the Blood Master.
What?
Really?
New song again.
Figured it out. You're the hero.
Not really. I mean, a little maybe, but.
And
Cocky.
there isn't a party.
That's a lie.
How am I supposed to stop Brett and Kendra from getting together if they like each other?
You're the guy with all the...
Now Evan's getting mixed up with all this craziness. So another new song. Fine. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm saying that Lucy is a liar because she doesn't really have any pull in this group, in this popular group. It's more like Brett and Kendra does, but she's making Evan believe that she has control over the group. And the only reason why she's doing this to Evan is because Evan's the one that's orchestrating this whole date thing. She's like, oh, great, now I have to stop Evan and try to make this work so they don't kiss on Friday night. So Evan just accidentally got wrapped up into all this, not really drama. There's not a lot of drama. It's more of just people having some internal conflict going on and they're not really vocalizing that. And there was way more drama in the musical, like externally and internally. It's just, The conflict is so different in this movie compared to the musical. And in this movie, it just feels way more tame. And on top of that, Lucy's kind of being painted in a more sympathetic way. Whereas in the musical, Lucy's just a straight up bully. In this movie, I can see why Lucy's doing the stuff that she's doing. I can see why she is saying the things that she is saying. I feel sympathy for her.
So I guess Patrice is still pretty mad at me, huh?
Well, you chose those guys over her. My guess?
No, he didn't.
And no one will get mad at you because I'm charming. Yeah, that. Lucy gets...
Wow. We're already a little over 30 minutes in, and there is very, very little showing of Archie. Archie has a much bigger role in the Broadway musical and in the book, but he's shown very little here. And I guess they skipped over a song, Get Me What I Need, which I really enjoyed that song. I thought it was fun. And we get to know more about Archie and his view on the school and what people think of him because of his disability. And there's also all the jokes over his disability, his illness and stuff. There's a whole song about it. And clearly in this movie, they were like, nope, we are not gonna go there. But because you take all that away, all the jokes and the song and those scenes away from Archie, it makes him look like a one-dimensional character. Because sure, maybe the jokes are a little offensive to some people. However, some of those jokes were delivered by Archie, and they were genuinely funny because he was making fun of himself. He had a really strange but funny sense of humor. And he seemed to have a backbone, like he was not afraid to talk to people, let people know what he thought. His humor made him stronger. He felt like a three-dimensional character. But in this movie, we see very little of him, and he's not really funny. He's still blunt, but it's not the bluntness that Archie had in the musical and in the book. He's just not really there. You diminished my poor boy.
You went to college, worked harder than anyone, and...
I don't understand this whole side plot with Evan's mom, because it doesn't really feel needed.
Just to save his party?
Yeah.
He's not using
and I'm good
him.
with that.
What's wrong, Archie?
Stay out of it, Patrice.
I mean, at least he's fine with it if he is being used.
Only got one
Ooh.
shot. Better get it
Look at
right.
this. Look at his wall.
I'm
That's gorgeous.
getting ready today.
Yeah, these kids are not trained Broadway singers. Wow, they skipped over so many scenes in this song. That's how they got into the movie theater. Wow, that song, they literally cut down like 5 minutes of that song. I was really curious if they were gonna do the whole Kendra and Lucy section of this song, and thankfully they didn't. I have no problems with that. And they didn't do the Brett and his boys section of the song. They didn't do Patrice's part of the song, but I did like that song in the musical, just not those certain parts of the song, but it felt like a grand, like, Act 1 ending song. Here it's just like, let's just put that song in there because we have to. And the more the songs go on, the more and more I'm getting disappointed. Some of the kids singing is great. It's fine. It's poppy, it's jazzy, it's smooth, like totally cool. But some of the other kids singing is just, I don't know why they were hired. Man, that sounds so mean, but if you can't hold a note, why are you in this musical? I always get so frustrated with these movie musicals when the actors can't sing. It's like, if you're gonna do a movie musical, make sure the actors can sing. I don't care how good of an actor they are. If they can't carry the song and hold the tune, they should not be in the movie. I'm sorry. Now, granted, if they took a lot of voice lessons and showed improvement, great, fine, awesome. Like, that's great. They can be in the movie. But if they show no improvement and if they cannot hold a tune still, then they should not be in this movie. Auto-tune can only do so much. Smooth, man, smooth. He seems so proud of himself.
He's going in. This is on.
Oh gosh, this is so weird. Oh, save me.
No way we're coming to your...
Just because his mom said his name, you think it's him that did this? Oh my gosh, don't tell me.
You two clearly need more help than I do.
You tell them, Archie.
You were using Archie just so people would come to your party.
No, he
Or maybe
wasn't.
You purposely wanted tonight.
You weren't even there for that conversation. You made an assumption. Oh, hello. Wow.
boyfriend.
Consent does not exist,
Wait,
I
what?
guess, for middle school. So first of all, this scene is so different from the musical and in the book. In the musical, the adults don't get involved. Nobody knows that the kids went to the movie theater. In the book, it is slightly different. Archie's the one that actually gets mad and goes to the manager and tells on them. And in the movie, the person that tells on them is Patrice. And she's concerned that Evan is using Archie for his own personal goals. And she gets mad at that, so she tells Evan's mom and the rest of the parents that the kids illegally went to a rated R movie. It would make more sense if they do show Patrice as this like goody two-shoes kind of a girl in this movie, but she's kind of been a pain so far in this show because she's constantly getting mad at Evan for every little thing he does, and then she makes assumptions about him that never happened or that he's not thinking about. So this whole situation feels less like a goody two-shoes kind of a thing and more of a I want revenge. It just feels petty. This feels like a revenge thing. Like she's doing this not for the sake of Archie, but for the sake of her own broken heart. She feels like she lost a friend, so instead of communicating that with Evan, she goes and tells on the parents, you know. But it's not out of the goodness of her heart. Like, let's be real. This is out of pettiness, true pettiness. And I'm not advocating for kids going to see a rated R movie. I'm not saying that. It's just, if they want me to be sympathetic towards Patrice, they should have really reworked some of those scenes. Made her more kinder. She's just been kind of annoying throughout this movie so far. Which really pains me to say because she's my favorite character in the musical. But this movie, like, I'm so tired of seeing her. She's trying to be somebody she's not. She's trying to be this savior, this self-righteous kind of person, and it's just not working for her character. It's making her look like the villain in this movie when she's not supposed to be the villain in this movie. And now Lucy kissed Brett, and so apparently that means they're together. I just don't really buy it though. I think Lucy, even though Lucy does have a crush on Brett, I think she's just doing this again out of petty revenge on Kendra. I don't know why everybody's blaming Evan too, because that doesn't make any sense.
You should have your phone on you. I've been texting you. I've been calling you.
What? When I'm on the field?
Girl, he's on the field. He can't have his phone.
What
Oh yes, we're getting to one of my favorite songs. I hope this is good.
She's nice?
Oh, so I'm not nice?
What? I never said that.
Oh, so not.
Line change there.
This girl.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Still fun, still funny. It does not top the Broadway version at all. But the main guy that sang, like, he could sing, so I'm glad about that. And the choreography was funny. It's the right amount of drama, funny cringe that you want in this kind of song, but it's just not as vocally impressive. I was just so amazed by the four dudes that sang on that Broadway stage. Like the harmonies, the riffs, the high note. Oh my gosh, that high note. And they had the high note in this one too, and he sang it just fine. It's just, it didn't give me that literal like goosebumps moment. I don't know if it's the auto-tune or if it's the music being too loud. I just felt like I couldn't get that fullness from the vocals that I want. Although I do really appreciate that they changed a lot of the lyrics and lines in this song. Because there was a couple of things from the Broadway song that I was like, is that necessary? I just wish we could have really good vocals, great musical theater quality, and clean lyrics. If we could just combine all those together for one production, that would be great. Are we getting a new song? Another new song?
if it happened to anyone else?
If I thought some of the kids singing was bad. I feel like the writers wanted me to feel like I should feel sentimental in this moment, and unfortunately I don't. One, because the song didn't really feel like it was needed. Two, the song is not written well to me. I have no way to back that up, but I just, for some reason, the song doesn't feel well written. Third, the singing wasn't that great. Her acting's been very goofy throughout this musical, and I don't know if it's because that's her choice or that's the director's choice, but her acting just feels goofy, silly. And on top of that, with her singing, like her singing's fine. It's just not, again, it's not Broadway quality, and that's what I want. I get they want to have this nice mother-son moment, but I don't feel that. It just doesn't feel needed to me.
Hey, Dad.
Oh, wow, you're answering your phone
kiddo.
at school? I wasn't allowed to have my phone at school. This is very strange for me to see.
I'm sorry.
That I hurt you and your mother.
Thank you.
Wow. That's a nice upgrade from the book version.
She's got some kind of like hypnotic hold on you, and we have no idea what it is.
Why is everybody staring at them? It's like his drama is everybody's drama.
You're the reason this all happened.
Look, I know I screwed.
Not really.
Ignored her.
Wow, is she actually gonna apologize? The song suddenly like really loud. Oh my gosh.
Kendra, I thought about.
This is different. When Lucy walks in, she's like, what did I miss? A lot. You missed a lot.
Trust me, I know how that works.
Let me think about it. Okay.
I actually feel really bad for Lucy. Because again, it doesn't seem like, sure, she has a crush on Brett, but that's not her ultimate goal. Since the beginning of this movie, we've seen that she feels hurt by Kendra's actions. And also Kendra is kind of oblivious and she's not taking in consideration of Lucy's feelings a lot of the time. She kind of brushes Lucy off throughout the movie about her thoughts, about her feelings, and all Kendra cares about is Brett. Now, granted, Lucy should have communicated that with Kendra, but I understand where Lucy is coming from. I feel bad for her, actually. And the whole like, well, you ruined your life, Lucy, it's on you. I mean, yes and no. Sure, again, Lucy should have communicated her feelings to Kendra about this whole situation, but there were a lot of outside forces at play that were not taken into consideration to Lucy's feelings. And it is kind of rude of Brett and Kendra to brush off Lucy and say like, well, you guys aren't together anymore, we are now, so. And they just walk off. There's just more happening under the surface than people are realizing. And again, they are teenagers, they're not thinking that deeply, right? But there's a lot more happening than meets the eye. And I think Lucy is justified in how she feels. Again, she's not totally blameless, but she's not the bad guy here. And it feels like this movie's trying to make her be the bad guy when she's not. I don't see it at all. And honestly, even though Brett and Kendra are super sweet in this movie, because of their obliviousness, they're kind of unlikable a little bit. They're kind of in their own little world and they don't think about their actions. And also Patrice. Oh my gosh. I'm glad they communicated at the end. I'm happy for them. I hope, they work things out. And I'm glad she said sorry. In a way, I think the Tell Her song makes more sense with Patrice saying, tell her that you're sorry, that kind of thing. It makes more sense because of all the things that she did throughout this movie. So this song is like a nice redeeming song for her. But if you take that away, I do not like how they did this song. I love this song in the musical. It's done so beautifully in the Broadway show. And one of the reasons why it's done so beautifully is because it's quiet. It's gentle, and it's just the two of them singing to each other and becoming friends again. And Brett's there too. Here, they start out quiet, but all these kids, they're doing this in the cafeteria. So all these kids are listening in and they kind of circle around them. And then all of a sudden, one by one, each kid starts popping up and singing a line and stuff. And then suddenly it gets so loud and everybody's walking towards Kendra, and then they circle around the table around Brett and Kendra, and the blocking is just really weird to me. I mean, can you imagine being Kendra and you're sitting there eating your lunch and then all of a sudden all these kids are just coming at you singing and they circle around your table? I would be in fight and flight mode all of a sudden. I'd be like, what's going on?
I gotta get out of here.
I do like the little moment between Brett and Kendra, really because the actor that plays Brett has such a beautiful voice. And then after they do that, then they have a whole chorus moment, and it just feels too much. It feels too loud. The soundtrack already is pretty loud and energetic and youthful. So to have a song like this is actually nice because it kind of brings down the energy a little bit. and lets you just breathe. And also it's supposed to be a personal song, especially between Patrice and Evan. The song is not meant for the entire grade. I don't know, I just feel like they ruined this song, which is a bummer because this is one of my favorite songs in the 13 soundtrack.
I don't understand ties. It's like your neck is a gift.
What?
I figured if I had Brett, I could feel important to somebody.
See, there you go.
Lucy.
And at least she's communicating her thoughts now too.
I miss you too. Let's never let a boy come.
This is very, very different from the musical and the book. Hold up, I just realized something. We don't have the she song, the she said, he said song. What's that title? That was such a fun number in the musical. And that's not here because Kendra and Brett got together and Lucy never felt the need to gossip, spread a rumor, and break them up. We don't have the whole fight between Evan and Brett. We don't have Brett and Kendra breaking up again. None of that happens. They cut out like 10 minutes of the show. I guess they cut out that part so they can add the whole mother side plot in. That's actually a huge bummer because that song is so catchy and so fun. I guess I can understand why they did it for this version of the story because Lucy feels remorse, whereas the Lucy in the musical did not feel remorse. And also because none of that happened, everybody ends up going to Evan's coming of age party. Because in the musical and in the book, none of his friends come except Archie and Patrice. Man, you got dressed fast.
See? Was that so difficult?
You are so annoying.
I agree, Archie. Oh, that's a cool shot. Oh, that's cool that they're each going to their own homes. Homes, shops. It was all a dream. Them walking down the road.
I see a brand new you.
And that wraps up 13, the movie musical. If you watched my reaction to the 13 Broadway musical, you might have seen that I was a little teary-eyed at the end of A Little More Homework to Do. And I did not get that here. I did not get that sense of nostalgia, that sense of bittersweetness, that sense of, I don't know, timelessness, because it's about becoming an adult. There's something so universal about that song, and yet in this movie, I didn't get any of those feelings. And this movie, it just felt like it completed too nicely, too clean. Like it just didn't feel like they had the whole side plot with the mom and the dad, you know, but that felt like it seemed like either they got back together or they resolved their issues. All of a sudden, that's what it felt like at the end of the movie with some of the scenes that were shown. And that just felt unrealistic. Evan is now best friends with all the people at school, you know, and everything seems hunky-dory, and that's not really realistic. Just things like that make the film seem separate from reality. If you're good enough, if you make the right choices, you know, life will be kind to you. Time will be kind to you. And maybe that's why I don't feel the feelings that I felt in the musical, because it doesn't feel real. And again, I don't think it was sung as well as in the Broadway musical. The last song, Brand New You, was fun. That was a fun song. The soundtrack isn't bad in this movie at all. It's just not, when you have such a good soundtrack like 13, the Broadway musical, there's just no comparison. They're just two very different things to me. If you're looking for a more vocally skilled musical theater soundtrack, look at 13, the Broadway musical. If you're looking for a more poppy, rappy soundtrack, look at 13, the movie musical. Like, you can have both. You have options to choose from. I completely understand that changes must be made when it comes to adapting any form of medium into film. The problem is they changed so much from the original source material and cut out everything that made the musical great. The film ends on the note of everyone becoming friends, putting aside their differences, and Evan's party is a huge success. The musical ends with Evan realizing who his true friends are and deciding he doesn't need the approval of the popular kids to be happy. Embracing that, whilst he may not be popular, he has people close to him he knows he can rely on. It's a more realistic ending with the themes of labeling throughout the play, and teaches you don't need the validation of popular people to be happy. Whilst the film ending, feels like the same recycled message that gets given at the end of most films that tackle this concept. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. The characters suffer greatly too from the changes made for the film. For example, in the film, the character Patrice is unpopular in school as she is the geeky kid who's always getting under people's skins with environmental messages and being a snitch. True. Patrice in the musical is unpopular as she has tried being friends with everyone in the school, but they have all betrayed her trust and stabbed her in the back in many different ways. Therefore, she chooses to keep away from others as is the best way to avoid getting hurt. Thank you again. Thank you, who's this person? Lewis. Thank you, Lewis. Patrice is my favorite character in the musical, and so I feel betrayed. I hate how she was betrayed in this movie. It's these changes that made me wonder what the point of adapting the musical was. We could have gotten a truly unique outlook on high school films and the messages they push, but instead we got a watered down 13 the musical that would be unrecognizable from the original Broadway show if all the characters' names were simply changed. Wow, this guy just speaks my thoughts. If you've never seen the original musical, then I completely understand why this film would fall into the good to okay pile, but compared to the film that could and should have been made, this is simply a waste of time. Well, I wouldn't say it's a waste of time. It's still fun, but it's definitely nothing compared to the musical at all. Like he said, if you changed all the characters' names, I would have no idea that this was the adaptation of 13, the original Broadway show. This movie would be good as a movie, except that it's 13 the musical. They cut out so many songs from the original Broadway musical and added 3 brand new songs. They also kind of changed the entire story. Lucy is not supposed to have character development and apologize. She is supposed to be a jerk and date Brett again at the end. Speaking of Brett, they changed his entire character. True. He's supposed to be a mean, popular football player. Instead, they made him a nice guy who just wanted to date Kendra. I know they want to make a good movie for tweens, but honestly, they should have gone for the PG-13 rating and kept all the original songs and character traits in. I actually might agree with that, to be honest. If I had to choose between watching the 13 Broadway musical and 13 the movie musical, I would actually choose the Broadway version. Because even though I don't like the whole tongue talk, I don't like all the cuss words and the fat, slut, like all these different topics that were popping up, drugs, suicide, like I don't like any of that, and I don't think that's appropriate for tweens. But the story and the character development and the songs just work so much better in the Broadway musical version that I can look past all of those issues and just enjoy the story and the songs for what it is. Whereas in the 13 movie musical, it just felt way too clean, way too nice, and the story doesn't fully make sense and the characters are just all over the place. So if there's a way for the Broadway version to just cut out some of those certain issues, those certain parts that I have a hard time with, but kept the story as is, like, I would love it. That'd be awesome. We could get the best of both worlds. I think this musical was extremely inspiring for children when they are growing up. I loved it so much and I can't stop watching it. Disappointing compared to the original, could barely sit through it. It's like a watered down version of the real one. I hate the new songs and the changing of words in the few songs from the musical. There was no character development and seemed like it was aiming for an even younger crowd than preteens. I'm glad they changed the words for some of the songs because I really don't think it's appropriate for even preteens. But yes, overall the movie felt like it wasn't for preteens. It felt like it was for like elementary school kids or younger. I don't know. It just felt younger. Honestly, I feel like I watched 3 different stories. You know, like with Doctor Strange and he sees all these different realities, all these different versions of our world and that whole idea in the Marvel universe, you know? I feel like I did that. I feel like I saw 3 different stories. I'm seeing different realities of Evan's life and where it can go based on the choices he made. Because I'm genuinely getting all the different stories kind of muddled, and I feel like Doctor Strange where my head's just like, whoa, what am I looking at here? I'm gonna wrap it up there. I hope you enjoyed my reaction. I hope you got to eat your popcorn. Do you think it's a good movie musical? Do you not? How come? Who's your favorite character? What's your favorite song? Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.